Today, we'll be talking about 8 things that triggers most people who PvP and Blox fruits. So the first thing is spamming. If you don't know what spamming means, it's pretty much builds that have low cooldowns and the moves can be used over and over again. For example, God Human, Portal, Curse Katana, Soul Guitar. The moves have super short cooldowns and they do a lot of damage, and the worst thing about it is if the spam combo is hard to escape. That will truly trigger a person who PvPs and Blox fruits. And while we're talking about spamming, let's talk about transformation. The next thing that we are going to talk about is transformation. For example, Kitsune, Leopard, Dragon, Venom, T-Rex, Mammoth, Phoenix, and Buddha. All of these fruits have transformations, and all of the transformation give the user some buffs like defense and damage and speed, meaning that it just makes you the harder to kill. But I mean, I don't blame anybody for being mad. Like for example, Buddha, you get bigger M1 range and you are more tanky. Leopard, you are super fast, your abilities break Ken. Same with Kitsune, you are extremely fast. So yeah, I can see why people are mad. Talking about speed, the next thing is running. Now look, this will make 70% of the player base angry. Me personally, I don't really care, because if I'm the one who sneaks you, you have every right to run away because you don't want to fight. And then when you're fighting someone and running away as a technique, I mean, it's a little cowardly, but gotta do what you gotta do to get a win. The next thing is V4. Now I can understand why people get mad at V4, because V4 pretty much boosts all of your stats to max, and like that's pretty unfair, right? Especially if your opponent does not have V4. And like ever since V4 was introduced into the game, the PvP scene has just gone like unbalanced. But then if you just sneak someone and they use V4, I think you don't have a right to be mad. And then even then, like if it's a mutual fight and it's not talked over with, I personally don't really care, because you know, V4 is something that you have and you earned. So like, why not use it? I don't really use V4, but if my opponent is using it, then I will turn mine on as well, just so that I can be equal to them. The next thing that triggers players are third parties. Honestly, this is no one's fault, because for the third party, it's free bounty, but if for whoever dies, they get very mad. Like you will see someone type this out whenever they die to a third party, even if they aren't teamers. I think it's just the ego of Blox's player that won't let them like accept the fact. But then yeah, I don't think this is anybody's fault. Now the next one, which is teaming, now that's actually pretty cringe. Like if you are 2 marines fighting someone, or like you are 2 pirates that are like allied and you guys are fighting someone, I think that's pretty cringe. Especially if you guys type easy afterwards. Like yeah, it kind of gets to me too. I'll be like annoyed from that. I do think that teaming is pretty shameful. Now this next thing is something that actually triggers me, and it's hackers that are bounty hunting. I mean, most of the time I'm able to kill the hackers because they are just auto tagging and they're terrible, but it's so annoying, especially if the hacker has V4 on. Like, you just fly around to different islands and just attack, like one shot me, fly away, and like I can't even report you because you leave automatically after you get pointed out. So yeah, and then the reports really do nothing because they don't really do anything, and if they do, they can just make a different account that also hacks as well. So like, it doesn't really matter. And now for the last thing that triggers people who PvP, and that is people who are toxic. You probably see someone in chat spam easy, or they'll just talk mad smack. Toxic players, they're just dumb. It's like their whole thing is to get you triggered, which makes their day better because I guess they're just miserable at home or something. But I guess you get a little pass if the person that you are fighting is the toxic one and you are just replying to him after beating them. And alright, that is the 8 things that triggers people who PvP. Comment down below if there's anything that I forgot to add on this list. And that'll be it for this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, y'all.